Good evening, everybody. Tonight, I'm your host, Angela Rose. Doug is not joining us this evening, and with me tonight is one of my good friends and GM extraordinaire, Vinny. Uh, as I have mentioned previously, I have been playing D&D for a very long time, and one of my games is currently being streamed on monthly Sunday nights, and Vinny here is the GM, and hence I have hence I figured this would be a good opportunity to introduce everybody to D&D and Records of the Realms, which is the world in which my game is set. So, Vinny, go ahead and tell us a little bit about the origin of the realms.
Howdy, y'all. Thanks for having. Is this your first one? Your first one, Ange? Do I get to be here for the beginning of it all?
This is the first me being host without anybody else. Yes.
Clap, 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 clap. Okay, cool. Congratulations. Hi guys, I'm Vinny or Vander. My players just call me asshole. Hopefully, PG-13 plus language is allowed here. If not, I'm going to be in probably big trouble by the end of this. But
Well, with my cursing, nah, you're fine.
cool. But yeah, I am the overseer slash original creator of Records of the Realms, which is a D&D stream, slowly becoming a set of books and community where we do live Twitch streams. We also will eventually have a podcast as soon as someone gets off their lazy butt, aka me, and does all the work that is required to make a podcast, which is a lot. Um, and it evolved from the original idea, which was a world that was actually gifted to me by one of my game masters, where one of my original characters had a wonderful arc and a wonderful world, and there just seemed to be a lot more to explore. I was gifted this world, and there was a story and a plot that I've always wanted to do, and I didn't play D&D long enough to know that I could make it happen in D&D, and then I started playing D&D, and it became a problem. Where I have hosted in the world Vagari six. Well, we're on number 5 now. There are going to be 6 individual arcs that will interconnect. Hopefully, we have groups interconnect, and then we've also had other GMs come in and come in with their own homebrew worlds, or one shots, or sometimes we just have game nights. But in addition to playing these games and having a lot of chaos and romance and laughs and battles, we've also had a lot of things just need to get created for from original artwork from a lot of artists that we've had to original items for people like Ange and other players who were like, "Hey, nothing in the DMG looks good to me. What can we make something special?" And I'm just like, "Yep, let's get to it. Let's get to the forge, and we will make something." And ergo, we have a monk whose fists counts as sneak attack weapons, along with other weird magical powers. And yeah, we just keep making things, and then we compiled it into a book. So now we also have a book. So we just make a lot of things, and then we put it together, and we're like, "Here, do you want this? It's kind of pretty, and sometimes people want it."
Yeah, I cannot speak for the other arcs, but I can say the magic item nonsense we've had in the fire arc is both OP and amazing and ridiculous.
It is OP, and since this is specifically a channel that talks a lot about anime, I'm assuming by the name, the, the biggest problem with all the arcs before, I think, is that everyone had a different vibe. One had like very much like the original arc kind of had almost like a Lord of the Rings vibe, where there's lots of walking and getting places, and every other group had kind of like just different vibes. Fire definitely had like anime vibes almost from like the get go, and like
Yep.
everyone embraced a role. Everyone like really got into, "Hi, we're going on a journey, and we're all going to be very high energy and very into our niche design," and everyone did it so well. y'all worked really well together, even when you weren't working. You all played well together, even when your characters weren't working well together, which was really great. And then, like, we've had ridiculous items from a Kenku who steals the attunement from items to you and your crazy sneak attack monk punches to our Asamar monk, because we can't have just one monk, we have two, who has glowing tattoos that give her crazy superpowers. And then we have a Furbolg orc who just had a really large bear as a partner to hang out with, and that was his magic item. And yeah, D&D is so fun, guys. It's so stupid. I love D&D.
And the pirate ship. We cannot forget about the pirate ship.
I think one of the original players was like, "Hey, I want a homebrew pirate ship, a la Jack Sparrow and like any of the Pirates of the Caribbean nonsense that exists," and we let it happen. We did unfortunately lose that player, but like that ship now exists in my world, and it's super fun that I can just make it pop up wherever I want. Uh, how about any like big anime moments that you remember for your character? Because I mean,
God.
Evie's had a few.
Evie's had a lot of them. Evie's gone full. I mean, considering one of the points of inspiration for Evie in the first place was Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Right. For those who don't maybe play D&D, I hope some of you, if you watch anime, I assume you play a tabletop game or two. But one of the ways of the monk is four elements, which is literally like, here, have some like low key bending capabilities, and Evie with that route, along with being, I forget what your rogue subclass was,
God.
but they
I
combined
I
pretty
do not
well.
I do not remember. I could pull it up, uh, but it amounts to pure unadulterated chaos.
Mhm.
It also means that much like in it also means that my character basically has two settings. Either A, no one's gonna see me coming, or B, burn it to the ground.
Yeah,
With
which I think
almost
got
with
more
no middle
established.
ground whatsoever.
Yeah, I think that got more established towards the end of the new arc, the one that we're streaming, where you were just like, yeah, it's like sneak attack, or it's stealth or kaboom, which I think was your new hashtag.
Yep. I
Was
mean,
great.
I've been doing that since day one, but I was a lot less obvious about it. Just the amount of times I rolled ones on stealth and then went, fuck it.
But we also didn't have a hashtag for it. Now we have a hashtag for it, which is great.
Yep. Hashtags are life.
Uh,
But
I hear
no,
it.
um, no, and for those listening who have heard me tell the story about how I built Maple as a D&D character, it was in fact one of Vinny's one shots way back in the day that I did it. That I did that, and
Yep.
everyone
Maple,
was some level of amused, if not horrified, with what I had built because it
yeah,
was very, very, very ridiculous and fun.
yeah. Maple is as broken in D&D as she is in the actual anime, which is great. But yeah, um, I will say, if you want anime hijinks, next time Fire Arc is coming on, they are fighting a big bad, basically a big bad that a whole other arc avoided fighting at the end. So like, if you want to watch a bunch of anime characters like fight a big bad, you should come watch it, because it's going to be really entertaining. I hope. I feel it's probably going to be entertaining.
It should be. I mean, if nothing else, we've had a fair amount of Dragon Ball esque moments.
Yeah, jumping off of a flying spaceship, all of you guys crash landing in different ways, teamwork to take down some like lieutenant big bads. It was fun.
Discord, stop.
Is Discord being a bit?
Discord is being uncooperative.
Love that.
And by uncooperative, I mean it's giving me a dozen notifications all at once, and by trying to get rid of them, it opened it up instead.
Oh, fun. Love that.
But hey, But hey, those discords are largely regarding to PAX and Anime Boston, so fun times.
That is fair.
Let's see.
Any let's hey, that does work too.
So, what prompted the whole book?
Oh yeah, so we have a book called Vault of the Ivory Queen that is being kickstarted right now. I don't know if there's a place to throw links, but yeah.
If you can go ahead and you can. I just don't remember how to do it. Actually, if you have I don't remember how to do it. I can post actually in the private chat. Post a link, and then I can probably put it up. And then I can put it up.
Well, send that over to you.
Because hey, I'm not used to having all of the admin privileges.
It's fun learning a new thing. Let's see.
This won't go away.
Send it over to you, or at least the Bitly. Bitly's amazing, guys. It shortens links. It makes things easy to transport. What edition with D&D did you start with, out of curiosity?
I started with 3.5. I actually got introduced to D&D right around the time I finished college, so back in 2005.
2005. I mean, that was probably a good time to get started, as opposed to all of us crazy people who grew up with all the really fun stuff like Critical Role, the Adventure Zone, all those other fun medias that inspired most of us to do the same thing.
Fun fact, I actually got to meet Matt Mercer before Critical Role became what it is.
Was it at Anime? Was it at AACC?
Ooh. I actually met him the first time I went to Colossal Con.
Gotcha. Apparently, he was at AAC at one point, like right before Critical Role took off, and like I just missed meeting him.
No, it was actually before Overwatch was a thing as well.
Gotcha.
And
Overwatch.
And subsequently playing Overwatch with people online, people find a picture of me, a former friend of mine, and Matt Mercer in the hot tub because it's Colossal Con and that's kind of the stuff you do. Okay. And everyone just does the whole fanboy, fangirl thing and like what happened, and it's actually just a dumb story, but
we love dumb stories. That's the best part. That's the D&D incarnate is dumb stories.
Yep. Oh God. I want a giant flying turtle. That's a Maple reference right there. And at some point, I will rebuild Maple for another campaign and have the damn flying turtle.
I mean, I'll just restat a griffin for you. Like, that's, like, doable.
I don't want it to necessarily function as anything more than I ride on it and it drops me off somewhere.
Yeah.
I want it for cinematics.
Yeah, so we'll make a griffin that can fly. It will not be invincible, but, it works. You made Maple a paladin too, right? I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, so you could get fine steed and summon the griffin. That's 100% a thing that you could do. That is within the realm.
Yes, I built her as a paladin with literally all the hit points.
I mean, paladin's a good class for that.
Because the concept, taking the concept of the anime, it was 100% well, if I have this many hit points, I can't die.
Yeah, I mean, you did pretty well. It was quite the time, but y'all did a pretty good job. I need to ask: is the person playing Banjo Kazooie in the background?
It is a let's play of some variety.
Nice. I thought it was Banjo Kazooie.
It may very well be. I have
It
no
is
idea.
Banjo Kazooie. Yay! No, it is 100%. I
Um,
mean,
it is almost assuredly achievement hunter in that case.
nice. Love it. I am also a big Banjo Kazooie fan, so that's just a thing for me. Um, who wrote "I Want a Flying Turtle"? Was that you? I saw it pop up on the
No,
chat.
I made it appear on the screen because I do that with comments. No, that was Doug, who is basically listening while actually at his second job.
Hi, Doug. I appreciate you.
Um, but I was not prepared for that. Now,
Flying, flying turtles are always great.
yes. Um, now the just over the years of playing D&D, I have done some very silly things. I have some of my best stories come from games to the point where where stuff literally from almost 20 years ago with my group from college we still laugh about to this day.
Like that is one of the fun things. It depends. I mean, D&D and TTRPGs in general can be all types of things depending on what you're looking for. They can be a distraction. They can be a good laugh. They can be all types of things. Usually, all of the above for when we play. From what I've found, definitely need distractions, and we all want a good laugh. So
If you if anybody after listening to this decides to tune in for the fire arc and doesn't get a laugh out of Team Blaster,
it would be very
then
surprising.
we did something wrong.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. But yeah, if you do enjoy Avatar-esque stuff, the campaign has some small vibes to that. Not fully. I tried not to steal from that universe too much, as much as I love it, but it's very elemental based, which most of us have been having a good time with. Um,
But no, I've just been having a lot of fun with the fantasy elements, with the as much as we all kind of had our own issues with Morphe's Magical Mile, that was a really fun thing. What in God's name prompted that? Or where
um,
did that come from?
well, there's obviously some allusion to another big theme park that we all know and maybe love. Um, that's an opinion for everyone to have on their own. Um, but before like making that up, I was like, there were a lot of whimsical spots that just existed in this world, and I really wanted to make some things that were like they kind of met today's era of like weird. Like first, you guys started in a casino business, which has existed for a while, but it's still more modern. Um, Especially the one you guys went to, and then you guys dealt with like flat screen TVs, kind of, and then you
Yeah,
guys got to go to this like theme park, and I just wanted there to be some like more urban, modern experiences, but with a good fantasy twist, and I think those worked really well. I'm excited if you guys ever go back to Morpheus because you guys really screwed that place up.
don't we own it now?
Kind of. You're the biggest shareholder. Is the best way to put it.
In a campaign where money doesn't matter, where one player literally started the game with no money whatsoever, and another player is arguably the best pirate ever.
Yeah, money variance in specifically Fire Art goes from literally zero money for a couple players, or yeah, a couple people are very responsible with their money. So a couple players basically always had like no money, to the group having like billions of gold now because they wished for a giant diamond and it came into existence, and now they're slowly making a robot army and flying armada. Which again, if that doesn't give you some anime vibes, I don't know what else will. Um, Very excited to see where you guys go with that.
We did have a couple of giant monk battles.
Giant monk battles?
Giant monk battles. Kirin and Evie just kind of had a couple of good, like, showing off. I can be a better monk than you can.
Oh yes. Okay. You said monk battles, and I was like, I don't remember there being any PvP because I think Gromagol, our orc, warlock, ranger, hybrid crossover, not even ranger, orc, rogue, barbarian, warlock. Um, Almost got into a fight with Drin. But I think most of you guys avoided like direct combat with each other. Not that PvP ain't allowed, but I'm happy you guys resolved your differences in other ways than just beating each other up,
Nah, I think we just kind of agreed that we're going to ignore. We've got bigger problems than fighting with each other.
which is a real good way to be. Very proud of all of you. Y'all are growing up.
Because, a volcano is about to explode and destroy the universe.
Yeah. Not the universe, just like a town that like a couple of you guys don't even really care about. A majority of you guys actually, I think a lot of you don't care about the town, about that city. I think you did. I think Corinne did. I don't think Ramagol or Dennis cared.
Evie cared about the people. The city, the infrastructure could be replaced. The people, on the other hand, did not deserve to die,
Yeah.
except that one guy. I do not remember his name.
Which one was it? The butcher guy?
The one that I flew off to go fight and then brought him back unconscious but alive and left him with Bear.
Right. The one that then got put into prison and then escapes.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. He's not doing amazing, but he's alive, so he's doing pretty good comparatively. Oh,
Uh, but no. Have you ever played with a truly pacifist player?
I have not gotten like a full like I've seen players like that, and they're very interesting. It's hard to do. But I've watched a couple of those. I've never had one where someone just refuses to like not refuses to kill. I've had like people like your character and a couple others who just don't want to kill. I've never had someone who just refused to fight, and I would love to see that. I don't know if D&D, with how heavy they are for battles, has a good way to avoid that. Short of like lots of magic.
Um, the only time I have actually had it in a group I was playing with was actually in Pathfinder, slightly different, and it was someone who was still learning tabletop role playing games as a whole and decided to and was playing a dwarven cleric.
Yeah, clerics are another route that you can get close to it.
And subsequently he just, once he went with the rest of the party composition, he just kind of went overboard with the, I'm not going to attack things, I'm going to defend, I'm going to just be a defender.
Yeah. If you go like insanely heavy with like buffing and debuffing and like never do anything actually harmful, you can do it. It's just really hard. Like you have to purposefully pick only spells that don't harm and like then never do an attack. Again, doable, really difficult, fun to watch.
My character, I would say, is in no way, shape, or form a pacifist. Just doesn't want to kill anybody if it can be avoided.
No, and that's fun though, and that's brought up character drama, which is always really fun to watch. It's like I think specifically like has tried to kill people, but then like you and even sometimes Corinne are like, no, don't need to kill this person, and then like sometimes animals or beasts have had to die like once or twice, and then Grumble's like, no, that's not happening, and it's just fun the slightly different moral circumstances everyone kind of has, and it's all just slightly different from each other. Where there's this one sect of living things that I don't want to die, and it's slightly different from your sect of living things that you don't want to die.
And it's the morality gets into. I've always found the morality grid, if you will, in D&D to be quite interesting.
Yeah. I've heard people say that it's limiting. It's limiting if like that's all your focus is like I need to be this one thing all the time, which as people we're not that one thing all the time. It's really helpful to express things and to express like this NPC reads as lawful evil because they follow rules as written to their advantage to be selfish, but doesn't necessarily mean they're ha 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 evil Jafar, evil Frollo, Count Frollo. Sometimes people are just people.
You.
What is a anime that you would like to see a D&D campaign based off of?
Oh God. Um, Now, potentially unpopular opinion. Um, just about any of the gaming related animes would lend themselves to a D&D campaign. Um, I would actually love to see aspects of Sword Art Online as a D&D campaign.
That should be doable with the way that they're making tabletop games based off of like shows and movies and stuff. The fact that there's so much like detail behind Sword Art Online, like for like stats and stuff, means that you could translate it. It would probably take some work, but I'm sure they're already working on it. It's just there's no official one yet.
It would not surprise me, and the Gun Gale stuff specifically would probably lend itself to a band of gunslingers.
That would be pretty fun. They do need more gunslinger esque stuff in D&D now that like random like laser pistols and like black powder pistols and all that stuff is getting more like resurging a lot more.
I mean, I'm in third edition in 3.5, subsequently 3.5, there was a set of books, basically alternate settings where you had the mechanics of D&D, but you had it set like more like a not quite Star Trek or not quite modern futuristic setting. And from the comments, another suggestion would be Rosario Vampire for an anime turned into a D&D campaign.
Ooh, that would be fun. I do think that would be enjoyable.
I cannot comment on that because I have not seen that show, but
It's been a while since I've seen it, but like again, very few like short of like Your Lie in April, most animes that that have like an interesting plot and some level of magic all can get translated into D&D. Even Your Lie in April, if you try hard enough, is just a bunch of bards. um,
and but could a bunch of bards survive?
uh, they got the magic. Really, I believe so. I think so. Depends what they're trying to do. Uh, my personal choice would be Yu Yu Hakusho because I like fighting animes and I would enjoy a really good like fighting anime tournament arc uh, for a campaign. I think that would be a really good time.
That
For
would be a lot of fun. I could see like My Hero Academia or something of the like.
My Hero Academia could also be done as well. I'm sure. The thing is, like, with that, a lot of them, their power scaling is real weird in My Hero.
Yup.
That the kids all start as like level 10 characters. Like they're all already so powerful.
Yup.
But I would be down to see it. That sounds like it could be a good time.
That would be interesting to do.
You could do a good fire ice powered sorcerer or something for Todoroki. I feel like Midoriya is just like a monk on steroids. I don't know what exactly, but just like an uber powerful monk.
Except not at times.
Yeah, there's definitely other things, but like his base for the first 4 seasons is just I can run really fast, and sometimes my punches destroy things. And
And then other times my punches destroy me.
yeah, that's the weird thing is you'd have to make like an overclocking ability specifically for him as a monk, and be like, yeah, so I'm gonna sacrifice 90% of my health to punch this person for like 10 times damage. Sure, why not?
And then just yeah, no, trying to think. I feel like I wonder if it could be done with Wonder Egg.
Wonder Egg.
Wonder Egg Priority was a show a couple seasons ago. Um, it was very labeled genre was magical girl horror.
It's so specific.
It was very much a head trip, but without spoiling too much, because I highly recommend it for people who enjoy a good psychological uh, piece of content. It's basically 4 girls all experienced some level of a traumatic experience, and then they get to go to this place where they purchase eggs. The eggs take them to another dimension, and each mission has to be completed, and then they go back to the real world. And I'm very much oversimplifying this.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it because I also would probably like to watch it at some point. But that is interesting. I am curious about that. I do not. I am not a horror fan. I did
It's
Madoka Magical once, and I will never do it again.
it's more of a psychological than what I would think of when I hear horror.
Okay.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I tend to avoid horror as a traditional horror.
Is there something you could compare it to?
It was so just out. It was basically I don't know. I don't know. The other psychological stuff that I've seen that I've really enjoyed is Serial Experiments Lane, Psychopaths.
See, Psychopaths is the when you say like psychological horror, Psychopaths is the closest that I think of. And it
Uh,
feels more like a psychological drama. But
and then another good psychological head trip would be Erased.
I I love Erased. I watched it once randomly, like 3 years ago, and now I watch it once a year because it screwed my head up so good.
Yep.
Maybe a horror D&D game, like maybe not Strahd, maybe Strahd. Everyone likes to try to get hot with Strahd, so maybe Strahd.
Um,
But
well, I mean, there's a system built around Call of Cthulhu.
sure, Call of
So
Cthulhu is like the brand name for literally that.
So it could be done. It's really, again, it really just anything can be done in D&D. It like there's source books with lore and modules, but you don't have to stick to it.
Sure. Now I kind of want to come up with a psychological horror for D&D to torture my players with. Yeah.
But how would that fit into the realm?
Oh, it wouldn't. That would be so. There's separate worlds. So we have people who build their own individual worlds and stuff.
Gotcha.
So that would be a separate thing, unless I made it like a very niche area in the world where like things are just
like a hidden
despondent.
dimension under that goddamn volcano.
Yeah, like something just despondent that people really like. Very few people go to, and some people just don't enjoy, except the people who love horror.
No. I had a thought.
I feel that.
ADD has kicked in because I had a thought and I lost it. But on the anime note, have you seen Spy X Family yet?
I've not. It's only 3 episodes in, and I really like 3 or 4 episodes in, and I really like to marathon things. So I kind of am waiting for there to be more episodes.
That is fair. I've seen 3 out of 4 episodes, and it is the most adorable thing ever.
Yeah. I've heard really good things about it. What was the one that came out last year that was like somebody like the husband, the stay-at-home husband or whatever?
Way of the House Husband?
Way of the House Husband, thank you. I wasn't remember what it was called, but yeah, that's one that I need to watch because I know it's done, or at least season 1 is done.
That one is a lot of fun. Needless to say, my household watched that while it was new.
Oh, doesn't surprise me.
And we made jokes. We made the consistent jokes that of who the house husband is in our household.
Yeah, sounds surprising.
Cause I sure as heck am not a housewife. And anybody who thinks that of me is wrong. But hey.
You hear that, everybody? You're wrong.
Nope. But no. Are you watching any current anime right now?
I finished first season of the case study of Veritas, I think it was, which was good. Tonight I'm going to start an anime. I don't know which one. There's like 5 different 12 episode animes on Hulu, and I'm just gonna pop one on and marathon it tonight. I don't know which one yet. Still avoiding Digimon. Here's an anime I think everyone should watch. Zoids, New Century. If you like giant Zords and Zoids and things mechanical creatures that you ride in, it's a very good anime. And that's one that I want to rewatch, but I can't find it anywhere. It's probably on YouTube.
If it is that old, it might be.
It's very old.
But no, in one of my discords, the top, what are your top 5 anime? And I actually had to think about that one.
That is a hard one. I won't lie. Is this including movies or just shows?
Some people did it including movies. Some people did not.
That's a real hard one.
And I will probably revisit this for the Sunday show and have Doug and Darren give me their top 5 because the 3 of us have very different taste in anime, and that's a point of conversation.
I will say my top one is Yu Yu Hakusho. That's my favorite, literally favorite of all time anime. So that's number one, no matter what the list is. If we're including movies, I think it's really complicated. I will say the one other one I do love, I love Zoids. Zoids as a series would take a spot in that top five, not an individual thing, but Zoids was a really good one as a child, as a young one. I feel like there was a new one that I watched recently that was like amazing, but I can't remember it right now because I marathoned a bunch of anime during the pandemic, so they
Yep.
all became a single block of just like really good times.
Yep. And watching more anime then proceeds to me pulling from said anime when I make characters. And fun fact, I found a GM willing to let me start a campaign with a necklace of fireball.
That sounds about right. I don't know why you would ask for that. I don't know why you wouldn't want to build up to it. Why do you want to start with the fireball?
Because I had to pick a non-weapon rare item, and I didn't actually think he'd agree, so I said it running my mouth.
That's 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 still a weapon. It literally all it does is make fireballs. It's still a
By
weapon.
the book definition, it's not a weapon.
Awful.
And of course, this is a group I have been playing with for the better part of 20 years. So now they're placing bets on how long it'll take me to to use it.
How many do you have? Can you just chuck the whole thing at once for like a ninth level fireball?
I probably could, but why would I do that?
If you need to really, really kill something. Sometimes you need to really, really kill something. Like that time you guys almost all had to fight a fire dragon, and then Dennis reversed time on it
Was
because
I there for that?
you were above ground. Everyone was. This is when everyone was doing their individual fights.
Yeah, I was going to say, I remember that happening, but I remember also not being in that fight.
No, this is when you got like your anime mosaic wings that you were flying around with, and you were fighting the tiefling in the sky. You're fighting
Whose
now.
name I cannot remember, who is just evil bad guy.
Boss, BAS. It's okay if you don't remember him. He'll come up when he needs to come up again, just for the lulls.
And then I'll just punch him in the face again.
Yeah, you guys literally were like, yeah. So next time we see, I want to just see him every time we beat something, and just have him be there. And I was like, cool. Guess we'll have that happen.
Oh God, I wish I could say I was surprised by that.
You guys said it. You'll set me up for it. It's gonna happen. Have recurring villains, folks. They're more satisfying.
And the we had some very memorable NPCs with that as well.
True. Good ones and bad ones that you guys got along with, and other ones that you guys really did not like.
And when one player doesn't like another player's patron, that gets even more entertaining.
Yeah, that was a fun time.
I just have a feeling that's going to keep coming up.
Oh, no doubt. It's gonna be a thing. People don't like the Overlord of Dragons. That's fine. No one likes dragons. It's fine.
Another one of my fun builds was a Dragonborn Paladin.
Was that the one that you used where you randomly summoned a dragon during the battle royale?
Probably.
Or was that Maple?
I thought that was Maple, to be honest.
That might have been Maple.
No, the original Dragonborn Paladin build was because I was being spiteful. It largely amounted to, quote, "You have the most roleplay experience, please build a healer." And my response, I'm not playing a cleric because I don't enjoy playing clerics. So I built a paladin, and then one of the other party members annoyed the shit out of me. So we had to figure out. So I basically already decided I was going to play with the mindset of defender of the universe because I had more hit points than the rest of the party combined at level 1.
What edition was this?
5th.
What the hell?
A ranger with an AC of 12, an elf with an AC of not much better.
God.
And I basically put the 18 into I put the 18 I think into con. Or it was 1816 with con and strength.
But it's a way to go.
And then the defender path. I basically had my AC by the time at one point my AC was literally 25 at level 2. Conditionally.
Broken.
I took more damage from party members than I did from enemies with that build. Because I couldn't make the saves to get out of to avoid their AoEs.
Was that build more or less fun than your Maple builds?
I'm gonna say Maple allowed for some really awesome shenanigans, but Maple was built for a one-shot. This was built for a campaign, and I have played a variant of that particular character for other Adventurers League stuff at conventions. Where I had
you used that character for Adventurers League?
For 1 or 2 games at cons, yes.
Nice.
Because a level 4 paladin that's built to defend with a party full of casters and rogues doesn't need to hit things.
No, very helpful.
But just needs to sit there and take damage.
Yep. And then heal yourself. The nice thing about having your healing hands is that you can just keep pumping that health.
Yep. But that's kind of the whole. That's kind of the evolution of D&D. Is it's all about what can I build that will be a challenge? What can I build that will work with the rest of the party without being obnoxious?
Yeah, especially if you're like if you're a veteran of the specifically like whatever edition you're playing, and you've made a lot of things. Like it really is about like what's a niche or a weird build or just something unique that I can play. Where new players, it's more just like, how do I understand all these random numbers on my paper?
And then sometimes you do dumb things like somehow accidentally give yourself a passive perception of over 20.
Was that accidental? I feel like that was accidental at some point.
Both classes gave me bonuses to perception. And I did not realize that at first. Saw it on the sheet and went, well, I'm going to take advantage of this now that I have it.
Yeah. So I think you chose expertise in that. So like that was not so much an accident as much as like
perception was not a chosen expertise. That was like one of the bonuses, I think.
Jeez. Okay. I need to figure out how the hell then, because that was. I mean, it doesn't matter super much at the moment. The next time you guys get together, it's going to be a big fight. It's going to be a big throwdown. So,
which means it'll be a big fight, which means we might die.
Could be. Actually, I'm very curious. I don't know if you guys are interested in this fight. I'm very excited to see.
I have yet, in all of my years of role playing over many, many systems, I have not had a character die outside of like one-shot battle royale style games.
Yeah, which like that's obviously what they're made for.
but I have not had a campaign character die.
That's a solid goal. I don't know if I have either yet. I don't think I've had anyone die and not come back.
I've come really, really close. On more than one occasion, I've been knocked down to single digit hit points.
Yeah, you guys could die in fire arc, by the way. Like that's a thing that could happen. You guys are really overpowered, so like there's also like so many things like in your favor, but it could happen.
Worst case scenario, I summon a getaway airship.
Yeah, I don't know if that's really a thing you guys have, but we can like see if it works.
I can try. Whether or not it works is a different story.
Yeah, I don't know if if the airship is going to be able to get down to you guys mid fight in a hurricane / tornado.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
So, did any of the other arcs manage to completely overlap in the timeline?
Um, kind of. It depends what you mean. Like, no one has like crossed paths with each other. But Light Arc started at a time spot before Earth Arc, and is now slowly playing catch up with everybody else's arcs in time. So they will cross paths time wise with you guys, but not necessarily like anything specific happening. So, like, unless you guys eventually go to the floating city in the sky, which I guess you could, but would take a lot of work, even in an airship.
Do we have a reason to go there?
Not yet. We've been going down the line when like everyone's getting close to wrapping up, and I'm like, this is a good time for a crossover.
Oh God!
Final battle, big boss fight. Let's just smush it all together.
Where we all murder Tiamat?
That's still happening. That's still on my list of things.
Oh God! Tiamat is the evil dragon god, and we've been threatening to kill her for I don't know how long now.
A while. And it's not just you. A lot of people have been threatening to kill her. A lot of people don't like her in the Records of the Realms. So we're going to have a big cross-party murder spree where everyone just comes and tries to kill her. And I'm very excited for it. Don't know when it's happening yet. I'm still trying to plan that out.
Another anime that honestly I feel could have come straight from a D&D campaign is Goblin Slayer.
I have yet to see that one because I got some rough reviews early on. So
the first episode.
Yeah, I know.
It's not nearly what everyone made it out to be.
Oh yeah, I know, but there was never. I have so many animes that one there was no reason to watch that one over any other one.
That is fair. That season I had done with friends let's watch all the pilots. And subsequently that was one of the ones where I went back and watched the entire season. And it very much felt like some of your stereotype classic D&D stuff, down to and including going into a tavern, accepting quests from the job board.
Yeah.
And then going into a cave and killing goblins.
Yeah. A lot of the transportation into video game ones have that feel. Like you said, even started online. What was the .hack? A lot of them just have that feel of just like, Yeah, we're gonna go. Oh, Overlord. Did you ever watch Overlord?
No.
Yeah, they all have that feel, which is very funny.
My watch list is my anime watch list is also quite extensive.
Yeah, it's fun. I love that life. Nerds have it real difficult, you know. We gotta spend all of our time watching these adorable, weird programs.
But but no, another one where I watched the pilot and then got is Banished from the Heroes Party.
I like that title.
Basic premise is there's uh there's a party that they're made that everyone's really super good at like one specific thing
Yeah.
except one guy. And because he's not the best at anything, he gets banished, goes out to the furthest remote village he can find, and builds himself a new life. And subsequently, he's good at a lot of things, but not the best at anything.
Sounds
And
fun.
I didn't actually finish it, but it really did feel like it could be a D&D campaign.
That does sound like a fun premise for a show. I would watch that.
But playing games, basically, it's almost at a point where getting told to make a character for a game now, it's almost like, well, what do I want to do?
Yeah.
And then what do? I start pulling ideas from different things I've watched or read, and or or in some cases, I join the party late and go, okay, what does the party need?
It's also a good method too, like especially if you don't know what you want to be like, okay, I'm just gonna fill in this is a workable solution.
Uh, one one of my campaigns that recently wrapped up, they had a party where everyone had a thing that they did really well, but they didn't have anybody with skills.
Gotcha. So they need a skill monkey.
And that's what I built, and basically playing something not combat oriented at all because I'm me, and built a variant rogue with literally all the skill points, but also running around with daggers. So if I didn't get sneak attack, I was doing 0 damage whatsoever.
That's so fun. I wanted to build something like that with like someone if you like the only way to do damage as like a ranged fighter is if you do sharpshooter. But if you don't hit the sharpshooter, you do no damage.
It was basically being a not combat oriented character was a very different experience,
It sounds like it.
to the point where I just started doing stupid shit and basically frustrating the GM at times because I would just think so far outside the box because I couldn't actually damage anything.
I mean, that's what you got to do. Especially if you build something that's made to not hit things. Like that's what you need to do. Sounds like it worked out pretty well from you.
Oh, the epic series finale for that campaign was just awesome.
What did you end up doing?
Murdering murdering a vampire, watching the house I was in get looted, and then waking up and finding my friends, aka the other party members, because everyone had their dream sequence cutscene, and then all but one party member got reunited in the end.
So it sounds like it was mainly happy. except for maybe that last person.
They made their choices.
Oh, 100%. I'm not saying that.
I don't know. I just know that before leading into the final session, the GM sent everybody an email with a list of questions, down to and including what is the one thing that, if you could go back and change any one thing that happened in the campaign, what would you change? What is the one thing what is the be all and end all most important thing to your character? And those answers came into play.
Makes sense. What is your... Go ahead.
Nope. And given the backstory that I had written for my character, one of the big things was this character finally found a place to belong and people that were relevant. Therefore, keeping those friendships was important.
What is your least favorite character that you've made, that you've like actively played, and you like just played it and did not have a good time, or just didn't want to play that character?
There's a couple of answers to that. Although I think the one that takes the cake, one of the worst characters I ever built for me was actually my D&D group was doing a everybody play an evil character campaign.
Gotcha.
I wasn't really sold on the idea to begin with. And I built a character. I didn't have fun with it at all. Lasted about 3 sessions and then basically said to the GM, no offense, I'm not playing in this campaign anymore. I'm not having fun.
That's fair. Not everyone wants to play the bad guy. Or like, even if you want to play the bad guy, sometimes the setup just isn't good.
And this is the group that I have been playing with intermittently since 2005. So it's not like it was any sort of people issues. It was just me and game didn't jive.
That's fair.
The other thing, a far more recent one, one that I thought was going to be a lot of fun and I was actually disappointed with, was the Unearthed Arcana Circle of Wildfire Druid.
Yeah, no.
I wanted that to be so good. I wanted that to be good. It just wasn't.
It's fine. It's not amazing. They don't even give you Fireball, which is very funny.
It just didn't. It didn't work. It got to a point where with that particular character, I felt underpowered compared to the rest of the party.
So that's definitely not a good sign either.
With that particular, it just didn't function the way I wanted it to, and for that particular campaign, we all had 2 characters, an A team and a B team character. And when my B team character was a 2-weapon fighter, I literally built in 5 minutes, and I was having more fun with that.
To be fair, 2-weapon fighting is awesome.
It was literally I showed up in person and the GM was like, you remembered your second character, right? No. Shit. Okay. What can I build in? Look at watch 10 minutes. So I literally built a fighter because it was easy and figured this would be a stupid throwaway character. And no, it ended up being a lot of fun because of the nonsense and stupidity and the fact that I made it a half-orc.
Half-orc is always a good choice too.
And then because the GM was playing with backgrounds and 5th edition, wanted no overlapping backgrounds.
So everyone was just enough different. So
I then had to go, okay, well, what background has no one used yet? So I did. So I built a pirate and got away with a lot of things I shouldn't have.
That just sounds like you with pirates in general.
Yeah. However, ninjas are better.
But what if you're a pirate ninja?
I feel like that contradicts itself just on the stealth alone.
You were basically a pirate ninja. That is basically what Eevee is. You are pirate from your rogue, and then you're ninja from your monk. You are a pirate ninja.
I don't know. Mind blown. I never thought of that.
It's okay. It's been there the whole time, but yeah, okay. And
I
now
didn't think of it
cleric,
in those terms.
and now cleric. You guys in your multi-classing like really are really out of hand.
To to be fair, the only reason I have a third is because I decided I couldn't be the only one without a patron.
That's fair. The fact that I think I need to bug Natalie and be like, hey, can you make her and also take a third class just so everyone has at least 3 classes for ridiculousness? To be fair, fighting style fighter would be a nice add-on because then you should also get action surge.
Oh god, he ridden with accent. Oh god,
Yeah, be really well.
that would be just. I think at that point we really would be how many anime tropes can we cram into a session?
Yep. They don't get action surge until 2nd level. Damn. Okay. I like the idea. It's almost doable.
But let's be real. Life cleric really does make sense for Evie given the background.
No, it was a perfect add-on, and I'm very happy about it. It's character development, but in numerical terms. Like your stats are lining up with your actual like slow progression. And now everyone has healing. I think everyone has like a little bit of healing. Everyone has
Not,
like not good healing.
I was gonna say not that we ever use it.
No, you really don't. It's fine though.
I think we. God. Although I think, God, I don't remember. I think the only player, I think Grom's the only character that's come close to dying. I think the rest of us have just overreacted.
Yeah, that definitely happened at least once, where they got real close to death.
I remember one instance. I was either the grand finale of chapter 1, or the precursor to that, where Grom got was at death saves.
No, it was the end. It was the final session or two. Grom was like the only one of you 4 that was out cold, and it was a bad situation. But y'all made it. Very proud of you.
I just, I love it, and I can't wait to see what happens with the other arcs. And I can't wait. See, what I want to do is basically have all of the arcs put into novels.
That would be a very fun way to go about it. If the Never-Ending Notebooks, if the Vault of the Iron Queen and the other ones take off, then we could definitely do that because I think the stories that have been done so far are worth some form of novelization.
I mean, hell, I keep saying with certain characters I've played over the years, I keep saying I'm going to write a story with like their story, and I just never do because I get lazy.
That's what role playing is for. That's why you have role play channels.
And then when you asked us to put together a paragraph about our characters, I think I gave you a wall of text for Evie.
Quite a bit, which is good. I like wall texts. Wall texts are fun. For me, not necessarily for everybody.
Trying to type that on my phone was not fun.
No, it doesn't sound fun. Why did you type it on your phone?
Because I was at work.
Oh, well, that makes sense, but still.
And I also knew if I didn't start filling out the thing right then and there, I wasn't going to remember to do it.
All right, fair enough.
But while we could probably go on all night.
Talking about D&D? Yeah, 100%.
We could continue this chatter literally all night because I'm absolutely loving this campaign. I'm loving the party, and I maintain one of the best things was I've not met any of the rest of that party in person as players.
Nope. You almost met one of them at PAX, but
yep.
Even then.
But paths did not cross. And yet
you're watching Chaos, man.
The best was when
No, I did not go to a concert.
Dennis gave everybody their gifts.
Because I'm tired.
And for me to get a circle of blasting was just entertainment at its finest, because for someone who doesn't know me to understand that I have been typecast.
Yeah, well, we had to make sure everyone on Team Blaster could in fact blast.
You do sometimes. You do keep things sometimes.
Usually until I do them.
But
yeah. Sometimes after.
But as we could continue rambling, but given how busy life, the universe, everything is, I could we should probably do that whole wrap up bit where I give you the floor for the whole shameless plug section, where we once again put up the link to the Kickstarter, and you tell us, you go into where people can find this stuff.
Yeah, 100%. So to close it all out, or at least partially, I don't know if there's a finale, but to close out my section at least, hi again, I'm Vander, creator of Records of the Realms. You can find us on all socials. Mainly Twitch is where you'll see us being active. Instagram is where we post a lot of our updates. And we have a website from Records of the Realms. We have a new creation, a book called Vault of the Ivory Queen, which is currently kickstarted, which is linked over in one of these directions, that direction. Please go check it out. It is filled with items, magical goodies, and if you want to also join our Discord, hang out with us, we can teach you to play D&D if you don't already know how, or if you already know how, you can join and have more people to play with, because we are a pretty fun crew of like 3 or 4 dozen people at this point. So yeah, come chill with us.
Yeah, come chill, and there's always something going on, always an interesting conversation. And later on this month will be you can come see me potentially light things on fire as Team Blaster takes on the next big bad guy.
Very, very excited to see it.
It'll be a good time for all. And as for Anime-Zing Radio, we will be back on Sunday, regularly scheduled time, on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And on that note, have a wonderful night, everybody. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time. And we're off.